Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. Hello, Jean. Hello, Dirk. Hello, Magdalena. Welcome. I think this is Oleg. Hello, Oleg. Great to see you. Hello, Edelyn in Amsterdam. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Kate. Welcome, everybody. As we get rolling here today, I suppose, let's see. Hello, Sherry. Welcome. The new recording site is up and running. Had some good feedback on it already, so that's where, after this daily practice is done, there's a recording. I suppose I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end, just to remind everybody, because I'm shutting down my other recording site after tomorrow. So tomorrow's long practice will be the last one on the old site for recording. So I'll still be here on Insight Timer, broadcasting live every day. It's just that when the live session's over and you've missed something, you want to check something out, the site that I'm using now, which is a very popular site for videos, is a lot more equipped, I think, for offline, a lot better video quality, a lot better sound quality, the ability to jump around to look at the chapters if you want to review a particular part of this daily practice. So just want to let you know, I'll chat about it again a little bit at the end today. Thought I'd say something though at the beginning as well. Hello, Tea Lady Nat. Welcome. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Leslie. I hope, Leslie, you saw the name of the book. I checked it out afterwards and put it in Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle, so hopefully you got that information. And welcome, Sherry. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So we've been talking about Shunryu Suzuki. We've been going through various quotes of Shunryu Suzuki, talking about one, beginner's mind, also living in the present. We talked a little bit about what is Zen, and also kind of an acceptance about where we are in our practice and not to get too caught up in striving to be different from how we are. As the transformation that we have through our mindfulness practice doesn't come through trying really hard to be different. That's one thing that's interesting about meditation, is that in meditation we're passively changing ourselves, and I think that's something that my students have had a hard time getting their mind around. And I remember I too, when I first started meditating, had a really hard time to get around this idea of non-striving, that I can change myself by not actually trying to change myself at all, just by being, just by learning how to rest in being mode. So we're going to talk through today some more quotes from Shunryu Suzuki as we close out this series of Shunryu Suzuki quotes. Today's quote is about people and how to interact with others. And let's reflect back on beginner's mind. And so one thing, as we encounter others in our lives, even those that we know very well, one of the questions is, can you really welcome that person for who they are right now and leave behind all of the baggage that you remember? I think it's interesting as well that, interactions we have with our friends and family, well, maybe family mostly, they remember, and they remember what happened 10 years ago, they remember what happened 20 years ago, and they're still using that information to anticipate what you're going to do now, whether they know it or not. It could be conscious, it could be subconscious. Most likely it's subconscious. I don't know about you, but your interaction with your parents or your interaction with your children, it's really based on all of this information that we have that's embodied in us now. So what's the mistake that we tend to make with others is we we think that we have some ability to control them and to control the outcome and of what they're trying to do, or control their behavior in some way. And so Shunryu Suzuki has something to say about this. And likewise, maybe also very important when it comes to present moment. So being in the present, can you really be with a person? Right? I don't know about you, but I have I have a few sons, and one of them, sometimes it takes a while for him to formulate his thinking, and I can see myself wanting to wander away, thinking about all of the things I have to do, and as he's talking to me, missing out on some of it because I'm already thinking about something else, like, and it's not conscious either. It's this subconscious, like, when is he going to get to the point? Like, is there a point to this anyway? And what I'm missing out on in those times is that true connection, that true interaction, which, these relationships are important and they're valuable. And so not being present for a young child and not being present for your other family members and friends when they're sharing something, it has an impact on that relationship. And at least for me, and thinking about children, like, this is an impact that I'm going to feel far down the line as well. So, these two things, like, don't control people because you can't. And your effort to do so won't result in what you think it might result in. And number two is really be there for this person. So when someone has come to you, this really is the greatest, and I kind of use this pun, I've used it before, the greatest present you can give to someone is your presence. So really being there for someone is we only have a certain time on this planet, and then we're gone. So, take this time. Realize that this time you have here is precious. And when you give this gift of presence to someone else, it is a really valuable gift, and it's an invaluable gift, in fact. Something that, there's not much else. I really think that there's, as much as you want to give physical gifts, that there's nothing quite like spending quality time, as well as other things. So I'll look at the chat here momentarily, but and comment about it. But let's first get into these quotes from Shunryu Suzuki. So the first quote: "Even though you try to put people under control, it is impossible. You cannot do it. The best way to control people is to encourage them to be mischievous. Then they will be in control in a wider sense. To give your sheep or cow a large, spacious meadow is a way to control him. So it is with people. First, let them do what they want and watch them. This is the best policy. To ignore them is not good. That is the worst policy. The second worst policy is trying to control them. The best one is to watch them, just to watch them without trying to control them." So the second quote: "When you listen to someone, you should give up all your preconceived ideas and your subjective opinions. You should just listen to him. Observe what his way is. We put very little emphasis on right or wrong, or good or bad. We just see things as they are within him and accept them. This is how we communicate with each other. Usually when you listen to someone's statement, you hear it as a kind of echo of yourself. You're actually you're actually listening to your own opinion. If it agrees with your opinion, you may accept it, but if it does not, you will reject it, or you may not really even hear it." So wow, that's I feel so powerful in this day and age when we really want to be clinging to our own opinions and our own version of the truth, our own version of how things are, and how difficult it can be to connect with others. So I'm going to read this quote one more time, especially those that we find dissimilar to ourselves. When you listen to someone, you should give up all your preconceived ideas and your subjective opinions. You should just listen to him, just observe what his way is. We put very little emphasis on right and wrong or good and bad. We just see things as they are with him and accept them. This is how we communicate with each other. Usually, when you listen to someone's statement, you hear it as a kind of echo of yourself. You're actually listening to your own opinion. If it agrees with your opinion, you may accept it, but if it does not, you will reject it and may not even really hear it. So, good advice on interacting with others. Okay, just have a couple, just read a few of the comments before we get into our practice. Rachel says, easy to go into guilt feelings about all those times I didn't really listen to my son, especially when he's small. And I mean, just like we said about present moment, the past is the past. And you're not alone, Rachel. I certainly have, I'm a work in progress. I'm a father who's a work in progress. I'm always striving to be a little bit better. It's fun to use the word striving in this way as well. But just, remembering that, whatever's over is over. And we can do our best to continue to be the best version of ourselves now. And it is hard to do that about other people's opinions, for sure. But this is really the way to have a human connection, is to use this kind of beginner's mind. Just like the quotes from earlier this week, letting go of your knowledge. That's, what was the first quote? I believe that was from Monday, was we should not hoard knowledge. We should be free from our knowledge. And that freedom from knowledge lets us see things with beginner's mind. And it really does help. So, all this stuff kind of comes together. So beginner's mind helps, especially when those who have different opinions from us. How do you really listen to that person? How do you be there for them? Yeah, Marie shares as well, and I agree with this. When we listen to people, we are usually thinking about what to say next, and usually our opinion. And Tea Lady Nat says, my mother always tells me that she doesn't know how I spend so much time with my children, considering what I do for a living. I guess she was comparing me to herself. Yeah. And Rachel noticed I used the word striving, and so did I. And I think it's, it's good. It's like not everything has to do with, there should be effort. We should be putting effort into our practice. What does non-striving mean? Well, it's a topic for another day. So, efforting and striving. Let's get into practice. So sit comfortably. I encourage you to sit up straight and tall. The kind of determination and a posture reflecting that determination, that resolve. Crown of the head towards the ceiling, chin parallel to the floor, sitting up straight. I have a cushion underneath my buttocks to raise my hips slightly higher than my knees so that I can sit with this natural curve in the lumbar spine naturally. So coming into stillness, arriving in your meditation posture for today. And starting to scan through the body, noticing the state of the body. Noticing where the body is being touched by the supporting surface. You can also feel the sensation of my hands resting against my knees, the sensation on my knees of my hands. So you can feel it on the palms and on the knees. Feeling of my clothing touching my body. feeling of tightness in my shoulders, a bit of tightness in my eyebrows. My jaw's relaxed, so just taking stock in how things are here in the body. And then as you're ready, beginning to bring your attention to the belly. Feeling the movement of the belly as you breathe. Constant rising and falling with the breath. And I'm already noticing my mind wandering, starting to move away from the breath. Each time you find that for yourself, you find your mind wandering away. Acknowledge for a moment, well, what is it that brought me away? And then gently escorting the attention back to the belly. Fully focusing on those physical sensations, seeing if you can notice all of the details. Maybe notice the distance between your spine and your navel. Feeling as that distance is constantly shifting as you breathe. Maybe we're feeling the stretching of the skin. And what is it? What physical sensations am I aware of? What tells me that I'm breathing? How do I know that I'm breathing? I do know that I'm breathing, but how? So as best you can, focusing all of your attention on those signals that let you know that you're breathing. And there it goes, I caught it again. I noticed my mind wandered. Gently bringing the mind back, observing again the expansion and contraction of the belly, the distance between my navel and my spine, watching it ever changing as I breathe. Maybe you catch that mind wandering 5 seconds after it happens, or maybe 1 second after it happens, or maybe you catch it 1 minute after it happens. Doesn't matter. No need to judge or to measure that moment that you notice that your mind has wandered. Simply acknowledge it and gently escort the mind back. Bring the attention back to the breath. Observe the belly, the navel moving away from the spine and back towards the spine. And congratulations, everyone. You've made it to the end of our meditation, the end of our mindfulness practice for today. And I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for practicing with me today. Thank you for being here with each other, for being a part of this community, and for supporting each other. I think that's one of the nice things about this group is a group of people all getting together with a common goal, I suppose. To improve ourselves, to become more aware of ourselves, and to improve our relationships, and just generally being better. So, thank you. Thanks, Rachel, for your donation. Thanks, Suleiman, for being here. Thank you, Oleg. Thanks, Magdalena. Thank you, Gene. Thanks, Key. Thank you, Dirk. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. Any questions or comments about the quote or about how your practice went? Please feel free to write it in the chat. We'll have a look as we close here. And yes, as always, thank you for coming. Welcome if it's your first time here, if you've never joined before. Welcome to those who are silent in the chat as well. I know there are a lot of people who show up and listen and don't participate in chat, and that is perfectly okay. You're more than welcome to be here. That's one of the things I want to do is to just be here, to create this space for you to come, whoever you are, whatever your background is, for us all to be able to be together and to practice being mindful. Mindfulness is nothing more than paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. So just trying your best to be present, to practice. I mean, that's what our practice is. It's, meditation is nothing more than practicing present moment awareness. So thanks. Suzanne shares, out of routine this week, trying to catch up, feel better when in routine with meditating. Thanks, Suzanne. And Rachel shares, I was distracted a lot by thoughts of the past, and most of them were self-recriminations. I almost thought of stop practice to stop the thoughts. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing. And that can happen, right? I mean, this is one of the things, is that we can start to have these kind of intrusive thoughts, and those thoughts create emotions. So I would encourage you when that happens. Would encourage you when that happens to keep practicing, to continue with the practice. However, the disclaimer behind that is, if it becomes too intense, to stop. Don't keep going if you find yourself getting lost or crushed by strong emotions. That's time to take a break. Don't. It's like the lifting the car analogy, right? You don't go to the gym a few times and expect to lift a car. Or even if you've been going to the gym for many, many times, lifting a car is still probably not possible. So when that comes, it's okay to let go and to pause your practice or to stop. Leslie shares, my neighbor put her washing on the clothesline, and her washing powder affects me unkindly. I meditated with one hand over my mouth. Thanks, Leslie, for sharing. Oleg asks, how do we find the link to the videos? On the Insight Timer app. On the Insight Timer app, if you go on the About page for me, there's a link. That link shows several of the things I do. The very first part of the link is the link to the recordings of these practices. And so, Frank. So so those recordings are up and running now. Really happy that they're there. Like I say, the video quality is better, the audio quality is better. It's broken out into chapters, so you can find the part that you're looking for a lot more easily than you could in the site that had the recordings previously. So that's really really great. I think I'm very happy with this move so far. It's a little bit more work for me, but the big part of the work, of course, is learning about learning something new. It's so funny, right? Always get that resistance to learning something new. But it's been good, right? Learning something new is good for your neuroplasticity. It stretches out the brain a little bit. And would encourage you, as you age, as you move through your life, to keep learning new things. This will keep you healthy, and will help to keep your mind open as well. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate you being here. glad you could drop into this practice as well. And thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I'm happy there's some good learnings. Learning staves off dementia. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing. All right, it's time to go. Tomorrow is the longer practice. We're going to do another longer sitting meditation practice. So welcome you to come to that and give it a try. So it's different for sure. Practicing what we've just done is about a 15-minute meditation. Tomorrow will be about a 40-minute meditation. So every Saturday morning here in Singapore, which is Friday evening for some of you who are in Europe or somewhere west of here. We'll be doing that tomorrow. And then we're going to move into a series on body scan and go over some of the benefits of body scan, how body scan helps. Body scan is one of the very first meditations that we do in mindfulness-based stress reduction, and there's a reason for it. So we're going to go through that as we get into our practice next week. So look forward to leading you in that, and I'll talk to you again soon, but first let's send some well wishes to ourselves and to all of us that are here today. May I be happy and peaceful. May all of you watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all sentient life across the universe, and even those who have not yet been born, I wish them all happiness and peace. Thanks. Got some sentient life, I guess, wanting to remind me that he's here and wants some food. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.